welcome to Virtual Concert Hall's live music channel. My name is Chris Au, and I have with me the co-founder of Virtual Concert Halls, Dr. Anna Ouspenskaya.
Chris, thank you, and thank you everyone for joining us. I'm really looking forward to the next.
Yes, we'll be your host for this next show, which is part 4 of the documentary of Beethoven's Symphony No. 3, written and narrated by Lawrence Rapchak, created by New Media Productions Worldwide and Virtual Concert Halls, and produced by the Architects of Music.
And I can never thank enough our collaborators on this production and many other productions, which joins us in our passion for presenting and bringing live musicians and music events to audiences around the globe.
And the recapitulation is upon us, and it follows the exposition very closely, the same sequence of events. The 3 linking themes, the group of secondary themes, etc., but now they all stay in the tonic key of E flat major. And a coda, which Beethoven also reinvents now to balance the epic dimensions of this movement. You know, in the sonata movement, you have the 3 divisions, the exposition, the development, and the recapitulation, and they're all roughly equal. The coda, then, is usually very brief, but in this case, Beethoven's coda is something of a movement to itself, and it counterbalances the central development section. So we have exposition, development, recapitulation, and coda. And the coda, like the development, is something in the nature of a fantasia. So the coda now begins with the main theme in C major, and a new sprightly figure in the first violins added to it, etc., etc. And this leads to a reappearance now of that new theme, the wistful one, from the development section, now in F minor. It repeats now in the key of E flat minor. Very somber. And there's something truly remarkable about this brief passage in E flat minor. It seems to look beyond somehow, out upon some vast landscape of sound. The orchestration is very full, but it's still mysterious and alluring. And maybe it's just me, but I think that Gustav Mahler definitely had this passage in mind when he wrote a certain section of the second movement of his 5th symphony, also in the key of E flat minor. And Beethoven's coda now continues to unfold. There's more unsettled rhythmic hemiola figures in the bass, like so. 1, 2, what? With the fragment of the triad theme over it, like so. Oh, I get it. And all of this builds and builds, but then it relaxes with this lovely, gentle, waltz-like phrase, which I want you to hear. In fact, so much of the material of this first movement, when the rhythms aren't being blown to bits by Beethoven, has the character, the swaying feeling of a waltz, which was still a new dance at the time. But in this brief passage, the music floats like so, in a regular waltz triple meter. 1, 2, 3. Very lovely. But under it, the low strings and the winds are grouped in a very laid-back sort of hemiola rhythm, like so. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And this combination of easygoing melody and gentle cross rhythms is another example of Beethoven's, what I call his dimensional writing, with melody and harmony and rhythm all operating in a slightly different layer of sound, if you will. Listen to this passage. See if you can pick it out. And you heard there our main theme in clear, unmistakable tonic E-flat major. Heroically, nobly in the French horns, as the final section of this massive first movement is now underway. And you heard the violins scurrying, dashing up and down the scale of E-flat major. And this passage now builds this magnificent arch of sound. The theme continues to repeat now in the cello and bass, and trumpets and timpani add fanfares. And the momentum of this music is now unstoppable, and it's built entirely on the main theme and the simple alternating of these two primal chords, the tonic and the dominant, the harmonic pillars of Western music. And we arrive then at a majestic sequence of new chords. It's very similar to that amazing passage of chords near the end of the first movement of the second symphony that I went on and on about. But look what's going on now. Along with these magnificent harmonies, we have this. Beethoven combines woodwind chords and a buoyant dance rhythm now in the brass and timpani during these chords, like so. 1, 2, 1, almost in typical Viennese waltz fashion with the accent on the second beat of each bar. 2, 1, yes. But at the same time, and this is really great, the pattern in the low strings is this, built on triads. But then it breaks into this. A new cross rhythm. It's like a reverse hemiola or something. While the timpani and brass continue in triple time. I don't know, it's too much for me, but this dazzling interplay, the machinery of joy, as Ray Bradbury would call it, just propels this soaring music. See if you can catch this. And did you hear that? At the very last minute, that lovely passage. That's that second linking theme from the exposition, one of the very few lyrical things in this entire first movement, and it makes a surprise appearance here amidst all of this heaven-storming grandeur. And what does this tell us about Beethoven, the Titan, the musical master of the universe, that he highlights this lovely passage so close to the end of the movement? It's terrific. And the rhythmic instability, that same pattern that collapsed the development section, now drives the rhythmic dynamic energy of the final measures. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And the main triad, the hemiola, is in the first violins, like so. The music has coalesced now into this massive dominant chord. And the primal, unstoppable force, which will, of course, as we know, resolve to the tonic E-flat major. The music now having come full circle, ending with those same two powerful chords that set it all in motion. Here now is the conclusion of the first movement.
Wow.
You're speechless.
Brilliant. Yeah, it really does leave you quite breathless. I often think this is an ongoing topic of our discussion, Dr. Anna, I feel like, but it's like a good way to think about great art, which is, should we just enjoy it, or should we be analyzing it and thinking about what it is that it's happening as we're listening? Like, should we be analyzing? I think that's always that sort of conflict we have in our inner self, because something so brilliant just kind of passes us by, and we can either just sit back and let it wash over us, or we can analyze it, or maybe we can do both. Maybe there's no correct way to really enjoy it.
What a topic you bring, Chris, every time. My goodness. I need to be on my toes. I do have an opinion about it, though.
Okay.
I think music is a synthetic art, which means it has lots of elements and aspects in there. And even visual aspect is part of it. Because you know, when people come to hear the symphony in the real-time concert, they watch the symphony orchestra and the conductor acting it. That's an act. That's a show. And you know, in the modern world, if you're watching a YouTube video of this, of course, every orchestra in the world is trying to hire more cameras, more operators, better microphones, which is the logical development of all the supporting surroundings. And I think is a heads off to the world accepting that musical art, like something like a symphony like this, is a very synthetic presentation. It's
Right.
auditory, audio, and it's visual, it's action, and now people are even adding screens on the backdrops, and so do we.
Yeah.
to all of that. So I think I would mostly agree with your third version of it, rather than either or, but both. But I would want to add, throw in maybe a little bit more complexity to it, and say all of the above and then some. In other words, the enjoyment and the infusion of energy, imagination, and all of those other health benefits of the music, they come in many ways, and it also depends on the receiver. Because
Right.
analyzing Beethoven's symphony is a fun journey in its own. As you follow Larry Rabchuk's guidance and go through all the twists and turns of what's happening in the symphony and how that happened, that's a whole it's a whole journey of discovery. Because absolutely rightfully so, Larry says, see if you can pick it. That motive in there, it's there whether you make a conscious notice of it or not. But what's the difference of emotional impact if you discover it? If you notice it because someone pointed it to you, that's one additional aspect of it, of the experience. But what if no one notices? What if no one points it to you, but you discover it? So that thing with the music, the element of discovery, which feeds on our curiosity, is also a very powerful emotional experience, because curiosity is one of the most powerful drives towards engagement. We're just curious about what's happening next, how it's happening, how it's made, how, why, what, who, when. All those questions are produced by the inner drive to discover something, curiosity to discover. So that's part of the experience. And if for someone looking at those elements in the full conductor's score and discovering how Beethoven built it, it can be quite an emotionally charged experience, I can tell firsthand, because I love doing that myself. So it's almost like getting closer and almost intimate with the great titan of the music, of the whole music history, whole music world of human creation, and almost getting as close as sitting on across the table with Beethoven himself and saying, "Hey, Ludwig, did you really mean that? Is that what you said? Is that why it's there?" So, and
it's interesting you bring that up, because it's like it's the whole point of art, and I raise this question because of obviously I think of the third option as a very valid one, which is it's both. You're equally curious about how it comes together, but also in a way just wanting to be on the ride and enjoy that thrill of it all. I think what's also important is to realize that Beethoven, when he was writing it, I don't think he was writing it to be clever or smart. I mean, he is, and it's brilliant, but he wasn't doing it to highlight to everybody just how brilliant he was. Maybe there's a small portion of that, you know, for his musician colleagues. He's like, hey, look at how good I can do this. But in general, I would say that he was looking at a way to express something deep down which he felt was really important. And even looking at the sketches of his string quartets, he was always constantly refining how everything was going to work together structurally with the rhythms. And the symphony orchestra gave him an opportunity to use a variety of different layers and different textures. You know, one which we've seen in this episode, which is really cool, is these sustained chords, the waltz rhythm underneath, and the hemiolas that are underneath that, which they call, you know, the machinery of joy. It's like, that is incredible, like how there's a chugging along like a train or something, which builds and builds and builds into something that's just absolutely glorious. I really love how Larry really expands on how this happens, but at the same time you can just sit back and let it roll by you. Like one of the most first experiences I had actually with this symphony was I was going on a run and I had this in my ear, like I had it on headphones, and I was running, and it just made me feel like on top of the world. You know, it was just this, like, you're running and you feel the wind in your hair, and this music just takes you up. It's almost like you're flying. And so I feel like this is one of those symphonies that's really good for running, or if you're hiking, you know, or perhaps a road trip where you're like, you know, driving through the mountains and you feel like, you know, in awe of nature, in awe of being alive and being a human being. And this is what, you know, I think that duality of really seeing how it's constructed, but also being able to just sit back and let it wash over you is really, really a human experience, not just an artistic experience. It's a very human experience. You know,
I agree with you completely. That's such a multidimensional experience, hearing that symphony, that you can almost know nothing about how the music is written, or not even care one bit about how it's constructed, and yet be taken on this incredible, energizing ride, like you said, almost like an eagle flying. And and at the same time, I think the knowledge and understanding of other aspects of it doesn't take anything away from it.
No.
It coexists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what for me is the mark of great art, that you want to keep revisiting it because there's always something to extract from it, whether it's just like an experience, you just want to let it wash over you, or whether you just want to hear it live, whether you want to hear it as a recording, which we now have the privilege to do, or simply just to hear different interpretations of the same piece. It's really a multifaceted how we can actually enjoy this music and this art in itself. And I think, I believe that's why we engage in art. I think it allows us to feel something deeply human which Beethoven probably felt, and was able somehow to transmit it into this piece of music, into something where we can reproduce it. Because if you can, it would be such a shame if this music could only be performed once and never again. You know, it would be such a shame if you just hear it once and that's it. It's lost forever. You know, one of the most amazing things that we've managed to do is be able to write it down, or paint it, or record it, or somehow of making this music last, to the point now where we have so much music out there in the world, more than we could ever listen to, and that in itself is a miracle of human ingenuity as well.
Yeah, and that's a drive of preservation of the best. So I think human people at our best are not so bad. They have the drive to curiosity, to discovery, to preservation, to sharing. We have some good qualities. Driving on top of those and creating like Beethoven did is part of the better purpose.
Yeah, and the more I think about it, it's like this duality that we have as human beings, that we can equally destroy and rampage and create awful things and do awful things, and yet also do wonderfully beautiful things and create wondrous masterpieces like this. It's kind of it's always, I think our human condition is always such a paradox. We can do such good and also yet such evil. We can always appreciate and love, and also we can hate and despise. And it is with that, I think, that music captures this duality and presents it as a representation of who we are. Yeah, it's marvelous.
Yeah, and I'm so grateful for Larry Rapchak and everyone involved in this project for evoking these discussions, evoking this desire to dive in and look at this and look beyond, cooking breakfast and making coffee.
Yes, which in itself is it could be a wondrous thing. But for now, we'll conclude by saying a big thanks to Larry and all the team and collaborators for provoking such thoughts into our minds, as to not even looking at how this was analyzed, but as to how it makes us feel as musicians, how it makes us appreciate that we are artists and we are musicians endeavoring in this let's say recreation of this wonderful art. So big thanks to New Media Productions, Virtual Concert Halls, Architects of Music, and of course the brilliant Larry Rapchak.
And many, many thanks to everyone involved in these productions. We have many collaborators in different countries, some who stayed with us for the past 6 years, and some just joining recently, and everything in between. On the screen you see there's logos of organizations. These are all real people who are adding their energy, their expertise to our projects, and we are very, very grateful for that. And we are proud and very happy to say that our networks are also growing. We're streaming on many platforms, of course the major streaming and social media platforms, and adding as we go, but we also are now present on many curated platforms, even including on cable. And so thank you everyone for working on joining our network. And if you have a project, if you have an idea, and you always thought, well, I can't do it alone, here we are. We are a whole community of musicians, producers, videographers, managers, concert organizers, orchestras, and so on. This is a lot of people. We're here to help, and we welcome everyone who wants to share their idea, their project with us, and be part of our programming.
Fantastic. Yeah, please feel free to get in touch, write a comment if you want to engage with us and have any further questions on what we talked about. If you feel like we give us feedback on it, if we felt that this was a really good broadcast, or if there are other things that you wish we talked about and not just how brilliant Beethoven is, please let us know as well. And with that, we'll see you next time for part 5 of our Beethoven 3 documentary series. Bye for now.
Bye now.